What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Swift video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at parsing JSON, but more specifically, parsing JSON from a file that's locally contained in your app. So here we've got a JSON file with a couple bits of data, different sections and whatnot. And here we've got an app which can actually take that data, parse it, and then render an appropriate table view from it. And you can even notice that the data is sectioned off. We've got our section titles in the header and all that good stuff. So we'll take a look at how to do this, honestly, why you should do it, because it is pretty useful, as well as how to handle errors properly. So that said, make sure you destroy the like button as always. Hitting that like button really helps. Hit subscribe while you're at it if you're a returning viewer. I'm going to go ahead and be annoying and wait for you guys to hit like. Should play the Jeopardy song at this point. But no, we'll open up Xcode and dig into it. Get excited. We'll talk about some JSON. Let's do it. Quick pause before we get into the video. If you haven't seen it already, I am hard at work putting together iOSacademy.io, a community where all of us iOS engineers can come together, learn how to build some of the top apps like Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, in addition to interview prep to land some of these iOS roles at top tech companies. So if you're interested in the free and premium content to come, head on over to iOSacademy.io and enter your email address in the waitlist form, and you will be notified as content becomes available. That said, let's get into the video. Alrighty, so let's get started by opening up Xcode, and we're gonna jump right in and create a new project. We're going to stick with the app template, and let's go ahead and call this file parsing JSON. Go ahead and create it and save it. And before we get into the weeds of the code, let's pick a simulator from this list. We'll go with the 11 Pro Max since I've got it loaded up already. Hit that run button to get it running just like that. And we're going to be doing all of our work in the view controller. So let's jump into here. Let me also expand this side to give ourselves a little more room to work, and let's talk about JSON parsing. So before we can actually parse JSON and show it in our table, we kind of need JSON. So I'm going to go ahead and create a JSON file with terminal. So go ahead and open up terminal and cd into your project folder that you just created. I put it on my desktop. And in here, we're simply going to create a JSON file called data.json. Touch just creates a new file, so go ahead and do that. And once you've done that, you can actually close terminal and right click on this project folder, and there should be a add files right there. And if you open that, you'll see that that data.json is somewhere in here. There it is. So go ahead and add data.json directly into your project like that. And in here, let's go ahead and add some JSON. So JSON, of course, is a store of key value pairs, and we are going to have an array of arrays. So I'm going to go ahead and say our JSON, which starts with the curlies, has this one array in it, and then every every element, instead of being an array of arrays, every element is going to have a title. We'll just say like fruits for now. As well as items. And this is going to be an array of strings. So let me go ahead and say apple. I won't add too many for the sake of time, but orange, grapes, and I don't know, let's do strawberry. So let's just go ahead and copy and paste this since we're going to be lazy like that. So we're going to copy this whole block right here, put a comma, paste, and let's just do that one more time. Let's quickly change up these values. So first one, we'll do cars, we'll do BMWs, Mercedes, Hondas, and I don't know, a Kia. And then the third section, we'll do states. So we'll do New York, Florida, California, and Idaho. So cool, now that we have some JSON data in here, we need to actually get to the meat of this video, which is how do we parse this and then use it in our app. So once again, going over the structure of this is a collection, rather this is a JSON object with one array in it. And each of these arrays, each of the elements in it is an object with a string for one of the keys and a array for the other. So let's go to our view controller. And the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is call a function called Parse Json. And we're going to create that function, of course, down here called parse. It's a private function called parse Json. And we first need to get a path to this file that we've brought into our project. So we're going to say guard-let path is bundle.main, which is the current application bundle. Think of it as a folder. And we want to get the path for a resource with a type. So the resource is a file name and type is the file extension. And I believe this returns optional. We'll see in just a second. Yep, it returns optional, which is why I added the guard-let. Now from this, we're going to get a URL to the file. So we're going to say a URL is a URL. And we want to get a file with the file URL with a path and pass in the path just like that. And let's see, what else do we want to do? Now we want to take this URL and create data out of it. So we're going to say let JSON data is going to be data. And we want to pass into data a URL. So I believe it's contents of URL, but let's just go through this list. Yep, contents of URL. And it looks like this function throws. We're going to pass in the URL here, but because this function said throw, what we want to do is put this in a do catch and put a try in front of this. And if it's, if it fails to get the data, we're going to come into here and we'll just print out whatever error occurs, just like that. And now that we have the JSON data, this is no different than if you got the JSON data from an API call. You can go ahead and parse this data with Codable. So we want to create a model that represents basically whatever the structure of our JSON here is. So once again, it's an array of these objects. So we're going to create a model down here called, let's just call it results for the sake of simplicity. And it looks like result is going to have an array on here. And we'll just say this is data. And this basically is a collection of result item. And the result item, and mind you, I'm just making up these names. They don't actually map to our JSON. But now in result item, each of these has a title and the item's property key. So we're going to say we have title, which is a string, and then we have items, which is an array of strings. Whoops, which is an array of strings. So we're going to try to parse the JSON into a result, which is a a dictionary with the root element as a array. We actually might be able to simplify this a little more by just dropping these end curlies, but let's see if this actually works, and then we'll modify as we go along. So we're going to say we can leave that there. We can create a var result here, which is of type results. And we can say result is try JSON decoder. And we're going to try to parse our result model, which is the struct we just created, from the JSON data. And I believe this isn't optional JSON data, so it shouldn't give us an error. Okay, cool. And this is result. It's complaining that we might not use it. And then down below, what we'll do here is we'll say if let results equals results. Let's print out the whole result, which isn't really that useful, but we'll see in a second. Let's put a return statement here, and let's print out, in this case, failed to parse. So go ahead and hit Command R, and let's see what we get down here in our console. So it looks like we get an error. So data is corrupted. It's complaining basically that the given data was not a valid JSON. So that means I made a typo in our JSON file. So let's see. we have a dictionary here. These are all dictionaries. This is pointing to an array. We've got our commas here. Let's see. Let's get rid of these end curly braces. So, but the root of this is now an array, and it contains a dictionary. I guess we actually need a root key. So let me actually go ahead and undo that. And we'll say that this array has a key of data, and data points to this. I just did a control I, which fixes up our alignment. I believe this is proper format. I guess we'll find out in a second. Let's come back to our model, and I think we already called the data, which we did. So go ahead and run that one more time. And let's see if it complains again. And if it does, we'll debug it together. All right, cool. So no complaint that time, and we got our result printed out. So we've got our title in here, cars, and we've got our items. And now that we have our data, what we can actually do is we can use this data and these models to drive our table view, which we're going to set up in just a second. So I'm going to create a new Swift file here just to organize things a little bit. We're just going to go ahead and call it models. And I'm just going to copy and paste those models that we created in here. And let's jump back to our view controller. And just to go over this code one more time real quick, basically, what we're going ahead and doing here is first we're getting a path to our file, which is data.json. Then we're converting it to a URL, and then subsequently data, and then we're trying to parse that data into our result here. So what we can actually do is let's go ahead and create this result as a global property on our controller, just like that. We're going to assign the result to it, and none of this print statement nonsense anymore, since we know it's working now. And let's set up a pretty basic table view. So this sets up our results model here, and we're going to create a basic table view. And we basically have gotten through the parsing bit of it, but I think it's important to see the actual point of why the heck would you want to parse it. And the answer is really to present it onto your controller. We'll say the frame is 0 to start and the style is grouped. We're going to return the table, and we want to make sure we register a table view cell for a given ID. We want to make sure we add it as a sub view, just like that. We're going to assign the delegate and the data source, just like that. And it's going to start complaining because we haven't conformed to those protocols. So we're going to add two conformances up here for the UI table view delegate and UI table view data source. And also, if you're not familiar with table views, I've got so many videos on it. Definitely take a look there. That'll be much more help than me just kind of running through this super fast right now. Let's put JSON there. And we're going to have some table view functions, and we're going to have number of sections will be return results dot. Let's see, result has a data array, and we're going to return result dot data dot count. If it's nil, we'll return 0. Next, we are going to return number of rows. By default, it's 0. We're going to say if let results equals results. We're going to return result dot data section dot items dot count. And then lastly, cell for row at index path. We're going to dequeue a cell with table view, dequeue reusable cell with a given ID and an index path. We're going to return the cell, and then in between here, we want to update the cell's text labels text. And first, we want to get the model. So we're going to say the model is going to be results.data, and then the index path.section. From that, we're going to get the items. And from that, we're going to say, give me the given row. And from that, I think that should point to text. Now, this might be optional, but you can assign optional to this text property. So that actually should not be an issue. If you go ahead and hit Command B, let's make sure everything is compiling, which it is. And actually, one thing we forgot to do is let's actually implement one more function called title for section, because we do have a title property in our JSON. So here we can return results.data section.title. And if it's nil, we'll go ahead and simply return nil because this function can take string optional as its return value. So go ahead and hit run. And now you can see we've basically taken that data and we've cleanly parsed it out into models that can be used to actually do something useful in our app. And in this case, that useful bit is rendering out a table view. So once again, just to revisit, since I went through that fairly quickly, before we look at the table view stuff, the JSON stuff is really a matter of get the file, right? Get it as a URL, convert it to data, because at the end of the day, JSON it can be represented in data. After that, try to parse it into our results. And our results is basically a model that we put together, which basically mirrors how our data looks with the keys and the given value types. Make sure they conform to Codable, since that's kind of the underpinning of JSON parsing. And as far as the table goes, all we do here is we create a table with this anonymous closure fashion. If you're not familiar with this, I've got a video on this as well. We make sure we set up the parsed model before we actually, set up the table view. And then in the table view, we basically take that result model that the JSON kind of gets parsed into, and we use that to really back our table and render it so you can see all the stuff here. And that's basically all there is to it in terms of parsing JSON from a file or even from an API call. So the last thing I'll mention here, which is pretty useful, is what I like to do is when you're working on an app and you might not have the API hooked up, if you have an API, or you might be, there might be rate limits to whatever API you're working with, it's really helpful to have mock data as a part of your app, just so you can go ahead and play around with, basically debug your app as you're building it without getting live data. And this is a pretty common use case, in a lot of places. You can imagine even like working at like Facebook or Instagram, their whole app is pretty based on the data that comes back from the API. So mocking data in this really simple way with a JSON file is super powerful. Highly encourage it. Very useful to get your apps off the ground. So that said, if you haven't destroyed the like button already, make sure to do so for the YouTube algorithm. Comment down below any suggestions, questions. Do you find this useful? Do you parse JSON in a different way? Leave anything down below. Comments also definitely help the YouTube algorithm stuff. Also love hearing from all of you guys, of course. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so already and enjoy the daily uploads. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.